I always envy traditional martial artists, the way they move and the way they kick the pads, because I look really awkward when I'm doing their pads. When I'm doing Muay Thai pads, I look pretty normal, but when I do their pads, I look really silly. I always envy the way they move. It looks like Bruce Lee, those nice crisp kicks. Pow, pow. Master Van worked with me again on the defense against the Muay Thai kicks, and of course his movement looks very different than what a Muay Thai fighter would use. In this case, he's jamming the kick, which I remember when I was young and I was first studying traditional martial art. When I was very young, I used to learn to jam the kick, to sort of step in to the thigh, and you know, when a kick's coming, your tendency is to step away from it, but actually if you step into it, you can be in a much better position to defend yourself or to hurt your opponent. The only thing, of course, is that as he's showing me this, I just keep having visions of those guys I train with in Thailand and how hard they kick, and I can't imagine stepping into one of those kicks. But I guess if you stepped in at the right angle so that you hit him on the thigh rather than on the shin or on the knee, I just keep thinking of the crippling effect that my friend's kicks have in Thailand. Here we're working on a spinning back elbow, which is pretty typical for Cambodian Vo Co Truyen or for Muay Thai Boran. And from the elbow, we're transitioning right back into the face slapping, which is more a part of this traditional Vietnamese martial arts. So it's just so interesting to me to see all the elements of the area, of the region, the culture, and then also the Chinese mixed history of Vietnam. And it all comes together in the martial art. One of the arguments against using combat sport for actual combat is that combat sport was never designed for combat. It's a sport art, whether it be Muay Thai or MMA. Basically it's designed to fight in a ring with rules, and sometimes I think it is possible that we forget a lot of really simple things. For example, in all of these techniques, they do a lot of groin grabbing. Crotch grabbing, crotch strikes, groin strikes, and you know, it's the kind of thing I don't really ever even think about doing because it's completely illegal in ring fighting. But obviously in self-defense you can do it, and on the street you can do it. So they follow that face slap up with a groin strike or groin grab, which is pretty devastating. Although Vietnam is a new experience for me, it was funny how training traditional martial art was bringing back a lot of memories from when I was very young and first started out with martial arts. For example, in Thailand, the side kick never happened, and when we started training for defenses against the side kick, I was kind of laughing at myself, and it was probably the first kick I ever learned, and basically haven't thought about it in years. But yeah, if you're fighting people who do traditional martial arts, they're going to do side kicks, and you're going to have to react to them. The weakness of the side kick, of course, is that the leg is out. It's out there too long, and it's pretty easy to grab. And so that's what they're working on here: the stepping back and grabbing the foot, or stepping back and redirecting the foot off to the side. Side kick's pretty easy to defend against. And of course, you have to combine it with a face slap or a groin strike. And of course I would misjudge his kick about half the time, and he'd hit me and I had footprints all over my t-shirt when I went home that day. One of the funny things about training in Asia is that eventually somebody's going to step out of the crowd, come over and show you how to do it better. But sometimes you really need to listen to these guys because they know what they're talking about. It turns out that this old man is not only a master, but he's the master. He was the original teacher of Teacher Vaughn, and showing us a simpler way to do it. It makes a lot more sense. Just step to the side and throw a very short, minimalistic kick into the small of the man's back or into his kidneys. Unfortunately, my training partner is still doing too much movement, too complicated of a technique. But my friend Ling is going to come over and straighten him out. Ling's got it, man. He's got that typical kung fu kick. kick, man, that Bruce Lee kick. That was the kick that made us all want to join martial arts in the first place. Man, I don't know what it takes to get that. Well, I guess you got to practice it, but man, that straight in side kick or straight kick, that thing is so cool. I saw it when I was with the Shaolin monks in China. I saw it with the Shaolin monks in Bangkok. Some of the guys I trained with in Taiwan got it. It's a Chinese thing, man. It's a kung fu kick. Hey. Something else that's typical about training in Asia, there's always like some ex-martial arts student guys who are now adults kind of hanging around drinking tea or drinking alcohol, in this case drinking alcohol and chewing bing lang, and just kind of hanging around watching practice. And because this is Vietnam, the way they like to say hello is they invite you over so they can hit you with their forearms. These guys are just huge on conditioning their forearms. It's something I always associate with Wing Chun, but here in Vietnam it's really common, and this happens to me nearly every day. Somebody comes up to me and wants to knock forearms. So I knock forearms, but I'm not particularly good at it. This is the teacher of Teacher Bui. What is his name?
His name is Wenty.
Wenty. This is Teacher Wenty. And how old are you? 73 years old, but still very strong. Hey, I'm Antonio Graceffo. This is Martial Arts Odyssey. Today we're in Hanoi, Vietnam, and we are learning Vo Co Truyen. I'm Antonio Graceffo. As always, at the end of every episode of Martial Arts Odyssey, I say get in the gym, do your sets, do your reps, do your road work, and please say a prayer for the people of Burma. And I want to say thank you to the people of Hanoi.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.